This video is to show the Flamenco adjustment on Nautilus Flagship Cajons. Now, a Flamenco cajon has a very specific kind of sound, and you generally need to have strings in the cajon, and it needs to be built of some sort of inert material like plywood rather than a solid wood, because you actually don't want to have a whole lot of tone in a flamenco cajon. You want a nice bass tone and really articulate snare, but you don't really want it to be a ringing tone like you would get with a solid wood Peruvian style cajon. So flagship cajons do have a lot of tone and ring. That's part of the beauty of them. So next to it I've got a cajon without the flamenco setting right now. But this cajon sounds like this. Very different quality of sound. And the reason you would want that more muted, muffled bass tone is because really flamenco percussion is kind of a subdued role. They're incredibly skilled percussionists, but they're not they certainly don't overplay. They play the accompaniment role very sparingly, and so you don't want a sound that will interfere with the other instruments, like a bass tone that's ringing too much or too boomy, or these mid-range tones. They sound cool, but you don't want that sound in your cajon if you're playing with a flamenco ensemble. You want a very straight-ahead bass and slap sound. So how do you get that sound on a flagship cajon? So first of all, you want to adjust the slap of the cajon by removing 4 screws on either side, on the vertical sides, the top and the next 3 down from the top, so that you get a sensitive slap on the vertical edge of the cajon. Okay. Now, you also have these adjustable snares, which is different than strings. Strings are fixed in place and you can only have one setting. And you can adjust strings, but once you've adjusted them, they're pretty much stuck there and you can't exactly turn them on and off. I'll show you on this other cajon. Actually, I'll just show you on the flamenco, why not? But it sounds like if I turn the snares off, you just have clean bass tone with that slap. Now when we turn the snares on, okay, and so that's a pretty high pressure setting right now. And if I had that on a regular flagship, it would be really buzzy, like this. Hear how it stays for a little while? It's got a bit of sustain, whereas the decay on this is really fast. The reason for that is that I just simply put a pillow in here and muted it against the bottom of this tapa. Now, a lot of people say that a flamenco cajon has to be built a very specific way to get a powerful bass tone and the right sound and articulation, and that may be true to a certain extent, but I think that you can pretty accurately mimic the sound of a very good quality flamenco cajon with this adjustable snare system and slap system that I have set up on the flagship cajon. So another characteristic of flamenco cajons is that the sensitive slap area will be down here rather than on the top edge, like on a Peruvian cajon. But you can adjust the flagship to have a Peruvian setting with the sensitive areas up here, or with very sensitive slaps in the corners. But this is how you would do it if you wanted to mimic a flamenco cajon with